are live with Frank. Book review number 5. How are you, Frank?
Yes. Well, good to be here. Good to be back again.
Yeah, pleasure. And on top of it, you're in Italy, so you make not an effort, but you go a bit out of your way to be here today. That's what I'm saying, because it's not your regular setting. So we welcome you with open arms, Frank.
Oh, yeah. I feel very fortunate, to be here. And always, putting our attention on truth, divine, and these things. It's
on
my
things
passion.
That matters, on things that matters, where it's just you get to a certain age or certain place in your life where you just have enough of the nonsense. You just have enough. You can take it no more. That's my case. I can't take no more nonsense. So I put my time on things that matters, things that makes me evolve and stuff. And I feel a lot better. And doing this with you is part of it. So today, Frank, we're going to start with muggle. Muggle is a term that is used repeatedly. I'm going to let you go on with...
well, I just wanted... Did you want to make an announcement or anything before? Yeah.
That's true. I won't be live with PT. Thanks for reminding me. I won't be live with PT on a regular Wednesday that we do usually. It's going to start back sometime in August because CropCircle season and it's summertime and it's... like I'm always outside gardening too, so it's hot and it's being cramped up here in my office in the heat, and I have no air conditioning in my house. I don't want that, so I have to deal with the heat. And sometimes, like the next 3 days, is going up to 35 now. So it's not a time to be inside so much.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah. I bought a little inflatable pool and I'll be floating in my pool.
Yeah. Forget in the water. That's what we do
in the water. So that's it. So PT will be back maybe sometime in August. He told me maybe third week of August, something like that.
Sounds good. Yes.
Yeah. But until then, we will do this together until...
we'll keep going. Yes, exactly. Hopefully my internet connection is stable, but we'll see. If not, then we'll just go with however it is.
Everything looks good so far.
Okay, good. So we'll begin with muggle. Muggle. Muggle is a term that is used repeatedly in LotusOcean blogs, so it's best to throw some light on it. A muggle, as now many children know, courtesy of Harry Potter books, is simply a non-magic person, as in someone completely unaware of the greater realities beyond the 3D physical matrix. Muggle is basically a being who accepts the 3D prison reality as the only reality and spends its time continuously creating and dealing with petty problems. It goes under many pseudonyms: average Joe, simple person, mass, mob, dude, bloke. It desperately tries to eke out happiness in domains which don't have any. It defies divine and creates tailor-made gods suited to its own narrow-mindedness. It has opinions but no knowledge. It has thoughts but no clarity. It is theoretically awake but practically asleep. It has fear, but no real curiosity. It has questions, but does not want any answers.
That's it. OK, en français, on va y aller en français. Moldu, c'est le terme qu'eux utilisent pour muggle, mais ici au Québec, on dirait muggle. I personally use the term muggle, not moldu. Maybe in France, they don't use so much English words in their vocabulary. But here in Quebec, it's franglais. It's mixed French and English and lots of English words we keep. So I personally would keep muggle. I like the word muggle. It defines... But moldu is the one that they use here en français. Français propre de France, je pourrais dire. Quelque chose comme ça. Anyway. So when it comes to French and the accent in Quebec and the accent in France and the way we speak the French is very different over there and here in America. So.
Right. Yeah.
So, moldu est un terme qui est utilisé de manière répétée dans les blogs de LotusOcean. Donc, il est plus sage d'expliquer son sens un moldu. Comme maintenant beaucoup d'enfants le savent, merci au livre de Harry Potter, est simplement une personne non magique. Exemple, quelqu'un qui est totalement inconscient des plus grandes réalités au-delà de la matrice physique 3D. Un moldu est simplement un être qui accepte la prison de la réalité 3D comme la seule réalité. Et passe tout son temps à créer et gérer des problèmes insignifiants. Le moldu s'identifie par beaucoup de pseudonymes. Joe moyen, personne simple, masse, foule, mec, type. Le moldu essaie désespérément de créer du bonheur dans des domaines qui en sont dépourvus. Le moldu défie le divin et crée des dieux sur mesure adaptés à sa propre esprit étroit. Le moldu a des opinions, mais aucune connaissance. Le moldu a des pensées, mais aucune clarté. Aucune clarté. Le moldu est théoriquement éveillé, mais endormi en réalité. Le moldu a peur, mais aucune curiosité. Le moldu a des questions, mais ne veut pas de réponse. So, it's a big one, of course, Frank. Muggle is what often makes me rage in this world. Okay. I have to be honest. Sometimes I try to control my emotions, but sometimes, especially when I'm confronted with nonsense, it's really the word muggle come out of my mouth.
Yes.
Often. And it's really it's somewhere here. I like what he says in English. It's we accept the treaty. Someone completely unaware of the greater realities beyond the 3D physical matrix. Muggle is basically a being who accepts the 3D present reality as the only reality.
Right.
And that's probably the case of your parents, of your cousin, of people you have around. They will only accept what they are fed on TV or whatever, because honestly, the TV is pretty much the reality for many. Right. What they see on TV. If it's not seen on TV or heard on TV, it shouldn't be. Like, we all say reality is stranger than fiction, and it's true.
Yes.
It's true, because the reality is stranger than the fiction they have fed us. Because and that's why I think I was trying to brainstorm the other day in the yard with my wife about all this, about why people don't think, they think, but they think within the reality that they've been given. So if you don't step out that reality you've been given, you've been fed, school, church, whatever, you're going to be stuck in there. So no one can take you out of there. It's up to you to really leave that 3D prison, that prison, that matrix prison you're in. Because it's not a prison also that you have bars. It's a prison for your mind. That's where the prison is. Because once you start, the microphone almost flew in the air. Once you start exploring exactly all the stuff that this world has to offer, the magical, because like he says, it's a person that is non-magic, because you can do magic too. You know, once you're awake, you're present and you're in touch with elements and stuff, you can do magic.
Right.
I'm telling you, I've
Yes.
done it. I've
Yes.
done it. Other PT does it. I'm not saying I make rain come and shit like that. Not that. I'm not
Right.
there yet. But
Right.
maybe eventually. Maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to liberate ourselves mentally to have free thoughts. You know, the freedom is the free from the dome. You want to free yourself from that dome. Start
Yes.
maybe freeing your thoughts and thinking for yourself. Shut off the TV. Just go sit behind a tree, under a tree, and hug the tree and put your feet on the ground and observe. Start observing if you want to leave
Yes.
this muggle world. Start observing. That's my
Exactly. It's
not
required.
advice. I don't want to give advice. I'm not here to give advice either. I will not put advice on you or add advice on you. You got to choose your life. Your head is already into advice with that prison, muggle prison. So I don't
Right.
need to add advice, but I'm just like telling you maybe you should observe.
Right. I mean, because you see what works, you could like you hear what P is talking about, and you see other things, and as we connect with nature, as we work toward living a natural life, you see actually the pieces start falling in place, and your life starts to make sense. You start to see the world in a different way. Yeah, this P-log is really awesome. It's it's really defining the terms here, because like he says. It's a term that's repeatedly used in LotusOcean blogs. So, P is describing like the state of most people, and in a sense too, we're all kind of born into this way of being. We're all conditioned. I mean, I don't know anyone who was brought up with a more kind of I mean, some people probably have a better fortune to have parents or a family that is more aware of certain things, but at the same time it's the state that we as far as I know, almost everyone is born into. And then when you start to see how things work in the world, and you have actually like a sincerity to know and find out what's the real truth, it's the work that Pete is talking about doing, because he's always saying each person has to do the work. The work is like starting to break out of that muggle mentality, and is to actually use your body in a way that's different from this kind of, because everybody who is in this muggle mentality, I mean, the way that things have gone, like you're talking about with like the TVs and the media and how we receive information about like what is the narrative of like what this world is and what our life is and all this kind of stuff. All of that is kind of like creates this mental scape of like what we think things actually are. But then when we start to find out that a lot of that isn't the reality, then there's actually a different way that we can live, and we don't have to go by their rules, because their rules actually keep us in prison. They keep us like oppressed and down, and of course that's how they would choose to control the population if they want to control and they don't have our interest in mind. They just want to use the people here so that they can profit off of our work and our energy and things like that. But ultimately that is also part of the us being able to like get beyond the matrix. Like we actually have to like start, like you said, paying attention, observing, because then we're gonna actually you can start like seeing how the game works, and P is a master at like just seeing how everything is operating. And so this P log is really sweet in terms of really being able, he gets all his writings are really cool, but I love how poetic it really gets in the end. It has opinions but no knowledge. It has thoughts but no clarity. It's theoretically awake but practically asleep. It has fear but no real curiosity. It has questions but does not want any answers. And we see this very often, if you actually try to bring up real issues with people, you will see the short circuit happening in the mind and the consciousness. And so that's why, like you're saying, you can't tell anyone what to do or how to be. We all can only work on ourselves, and it's up to each individual to make the choice to actually be able to question like reality and what they've been taught, and to actually, like dare to go outside of what they've known, and it's not really, once you look at things too, it's not really that big of a deal, but like the mental prison is, you have to be willing to be different, but it doesn't mean that you have to be like a freak or something weird, it's just like, and like you said, you don't have to go out and make your self-known in that way, but if conversations arise, then you can like kindly share your perspective if people are curious, and they can think of you what they will, and whatever, right? So
because often it's okay to share perspective, and that's what I was reflecting with Kim in the backyard, and often why I will not open to certain people now. And I've learned lessons. I've opened up to people. I've been shut down and stuff. Now I want to feel safe. If I open up to you, it's because I feel safe. I will not be judged. I will not be exactly just. You will not have a judgment on what I say, and you will keep an open mind and receptive and stuff. I will open up. But if I don't feel safe now, I'm not opening up. And that often includes my children. If I don't feel the only person I feel safe to open about anything is you, Frank, and I'm doing it here online. Okay, you got to say, Yannick, you open to the world. But to me, I'm having a talk with Frank here. So I feel safe. I open up to Frank. Now, if others find those talk and stuff and it resonates with them, good. If it doesn't, just change channels. There's all kinds of people on online and in the world, and like you can also follow your own self at one point. So just do your own work and stuff. That's very important too. But yeah, it's if you're lost, they say if you're lost, follow the light. Like you said, observe. If you're lost at sea, like if you're one of those muggle lost at sea, observe, follow the light. What light I'm talking about? I'm talking about the sun. Look, observe the sun. You will realize it moves in the sky. Just that is going to destroy all their nonsense that they have fed you. If you start realizing that if you follow the light, follow the light, you will realize like the whole thing is a big lie construct just to keep us exactly in that prison, 3D prison, and also to tell us that okay, there's only this amount of land and this like very limited world we live in, like very small world. They say it's not a small world. It's a huge, gigantic plane of existence, and there's probably other muggles somewhere and others very brilliant ascending people on other planes. Like I think that muggle disease must go around everywhere on all planes. But there must be certainly others like not planet. I don't plan. I see this whole thing is a vast. The universe is the plane where we are, and that makes sense. Like, why would you be able to like go outer space and all that nonsense? It doesn't make sense. And just I'm fed up talking about this.
I feel like a cool part about the Vedic perspective is that it does incorporate the reality that the plane that we're on is called Bulok, and then there's higher planes, and then there's lower planes. And the more that we work on actually like freeing ourselves, becoming more natural, aligning with divine, we actually gain, maybe not in this lifetime, but we gain the power to move beyond realms, up or down, like through sticking to like positive work and aligning with nature and divine, and that's part of a thing that comes. And it's a perspective, and so there's a lot of different ways of looking at things, but I really appreciate how the Vedic really takes that into its cosmology. It's a beautiful thing.
Brings a different perspective, and not only what we've been told to go by. Like there's many books that's been burned. Yeah, I know, but there's also many people from this time, like PT, that can guide you through it all. Like really, really divine guide. He will not do the work for you. Don't expect him to do the work, or to for him to cure your depression. Like it's not gonna happen. But if you take your own self, that's it, in your own hand, you will cure all the nonsense feelings that you have, and just align with divine. Just align with divine nature. It's not something very hard I'm talking about here. We're talking about nature. We have it all around. But we have become so unnatural that even going in nature, we're afraid of something that's going to bite us, some mosquitoes or disease mosquitoes, or they bring all kinds of nonsense all the time. When nature is there for us and we completely avoid it. It's so crazy, this world.
Yes.
It's me. I've never really understood this world. That's why I'm here, to try to understand and really understand, not overstand, not understand, understand. Because I think I've reached that humility, humbleness, that I want to be like. That's why often you use the word bless, 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 be less, be less. Know that you're less than iron divine, and you will evolve. But if you put yourself, that's it, as you create your own gods and stuff, it's not how it works. So he says it here, people that create their own, where did I see this? Anyway, creates their own gods and stuff, pseudonym. Desperately tries to eke out happiness in domains which doesn't have any. It defies divine and creates tailor-made gods suited to its own narrow-mindedness.
Yeah. That's
boom.
This.
Okay, the Muggles. We're good with the Muggles. Now, I've raged enough about the Muggle. I'm still a Muggle. I consider myself a Muggle, but I'm an immaculate member of the herd of Muggle, if I can say.
Right. I mean, we're doing the work to break out of that. And just briefly too, I did want to connect back to a previous P-log. All right, so here P's defining Muggle, and then if we go back and look at that P-log 4-pronged approach, he begins with this line of "He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool." And so that is the Muggle mentality. If you don't know that you don't know, then you're just going to go along with the false thing that you've been fed. And so it says there, like, shun him. So like if people are really coming at you with animosity for a particular quality of your awakening, then it's okay. Just like let them be them. Let them do their thing, and you just keep doing your own work. That's what it takes.
And you can't put so much care on what people think when you do that path, that ascension path you're going on. If you start caring about what people think, you're not going to go very far, because they're going to ridicule you, ostracize you. My own parents did it with me. So my mother, I haven't talked to my mother for the last, I think, 4 years now. She doesn't want to talk to me because of what I do and what I represent and what I talk about, and it doesn't go through. So that's what I'm saying. They will not accept any other reality than what they've been fed. So it's it's sad but true. Metallica, the song, sad but true. Yeah.
Right.
It's sad but true. And the next one too is sad but true, but white is a good one.
White. Yes.
Yeah. because you have a white shirt too. So
yes, it's Monday, right? The moon. The moon
I like
is white.
this. Good timing.
Yes. Okay,
so I'll let
white.
you read the English, French.
Yes.
Frank.
White. Just a quick observation on the terminology assigned to a particular race/tribe on this planet. The race and tribe termed white is not really white. Might come as a surprise to some, but those who have doubts are advised to take a look at the color white, over and over if required. The so-called white race is actually more translucent than anything else. Reason being lack of pigmentation, a disease called albinism. The complexion varies from yellow to red. Skin is usually ruddy, pimply, and scaly. The translucence is a more apt term to describe this race and tribe. The color white conjures up ideals of purity and righteousness, which are erroneously ascribed by the subconscious to this particular race through this false terminology. So much for the black and white chessboard world, which has been created by those whose objective is to confuse. P.S. Though these words might rub some people the wrong way, it must be stated this blog is not here to promote racism, but as an exercise in seeing and naming things as they are.
OK, blanc. Juste une rapide observation sur la terminologie assignée à une race tribu particulière. La race tribu appelée blanc n'est pas vraiment blanche. Cela va peut-être être une surprise pour certains, mais ceux qui ont des doutes sont conseillés de prendre un moment pour regarder la couleur blanche. Encore et encore, si nécessaire. La soi-disante race blanche est en fait plus proche de translucide qu'autre chose. La raison est le manque de pigmentation, une maladie appelée albinisme. Le teint varie de jaune à rouge. La peau est en général rougeâtre, boutonneuse et écailleuse. Les translucides est un terme plus apte pour décrire cette race tribu. La couleur blanche évoque des idéaux de pureté et de rectitude qui sont faussement assignés par le subconscient à cette race, en particulier à travers cette fausse terminologie. Tout cela pour le monde de l'échiquier noir et blanc, qui a été conçu pour ceux dont l'objectif est de créer la confusion. PS. Même si ces mots pourraient ne pas gratter certains dans le sens du poil, il doit être déclaré que ce blog n'est pas là pour promouvoir le racisme, mais un exercice qui consiste à voir, nommer les choses telles qu'elles sont, telles qu'elles le sont. And that's the main thing here is we name all kinds of things and that's not really what it is, and the confusion arises from there. And blank, it's black and white. It's always like why can it be like gray? Like no, black and white, and like in those colors also we know that they use those colors. It's a sign of purity, the white. Like there's not because you have a skin a bit paler brown that you're more pure than another that has a dark brown skin. Like it has nothing to, like we're just different shades of brown, and that's it. That's all, and it's beautiful. I love to see all different kinds of shades, and why we would be all the same. We live in different region on Earth, so I live in a Nordic country. Maybe that has to do with the fact that my skin is more pale, and maybe people in Africa, they live in the sun. Maybe that's why their skin's more dark. Like it has to do with geography too. I don't know. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of it is beyond, what our actual. We could probably see a little bit of it, like you're saying. I think the geography, and part of just like we had talked about in gene snakes, and the medicine wheel is red, black, white, and yellow, and so those are primarily, like the 4 major races of people here. But yeah, I mean, the whole white thing has been so distorted, and it's, he aptly names it translucence. I really like that as a, you know, another way to actually describe you know, a race of people and beings. And yeah, like what you look at the color white, no one's actually like white, you know, like you said, it's just all like a variation, different pigments and shades. And often yeah, the people, they can get very reddish or you know, ruddy or pimply, like he says. And that often comes just from, like, you know, if you're not having a good diet, then your skin is gonna you know, that's one of the main things. And also the translucent rays, that we are the most susceptible to like being burned by the sun, and we don't have as much pigment, melanin, I think, is that it, melanin in our skin, you know. So I think probably our ancestors were further north where there was like you know, not as strong a sun or something.
And that's why my sister-in-law, that is very pale brown, like you would say she's friggin' white. Like when she exposes herself to the sun, she gets burnt. She's red. Me, I expose I'm walking around in the sun, no shirtless all summer long, and I become brown. Like I'm dark brown at the end of the summer. So it probably has to do with exactly the pigmentation in the skin. Why I don't burn in the sun, and some others burn instantly. Maybe the diet, like you say, maybe something in our, like the skin is an organ after all.
Right.
I'm not a professional in all this, but I just admit my opinion here.
Right. And then also, even so, I mean, this is a little bit kind of more of a complex approach or looking at things, but each one of us has a different body that might fit into a certain category. But even each one of us with our genetics and like certain like health conditions that we might be predisposed to and different things like that, in the Vedic perspective, it all is like an amalgamation. It is all like a formula that has come from actions that we've taken in the past. So because we take certain actions, we are given a particular type of body in each kind of life and stuff like that. So who knows like how it's all connected in, I mean, I know P could probably explain it a lot better than I, but you know, even just certain things with, you know, beings who are very more like super light toned and pale. I mean, we were just talking about earlier with the color white and the moon and things like that. I mean, certain astrological aspects you will notice give certain traits and characteristics to a person. And so the skin being a very noticeable trait like that. Anyways, it would be noticeable in a chart in a way. So just trying to bring that little bit.
But I think it's just important that if we want to move out exactly all this nonsense, name things as they are. Stop saying people are white and people are black. They're not. So right there, confusion arises and war and chaos. And so start naming things as they are. I'm light brown. I'm not white. Your shirt is white. Look at your skin. Is it the same color? No. You can, like, it's clear. So and no one can deny this. It's a fact. You are not white. I am not white. I'm pale brown.
Right.
Like what? We don't see colors no more. Like we're so confused that we cannot see even colors. Like,
but it's part, like, as we could probably tell, it's part of the spell. How they've made it a certain way to kind of divide us, and we're easily you know spellbound, and which if we're kept kind of confused and fighting and this stuff like that, then you know we're not going to be able to rise above those small disputes and stuff like that. So
exactly,
it works well for them.
Vegetarianism.
Yes,
I'm going to let you go with this one.
Vegetarianism. There is general thinking / consensus all over the planet that not eating animal flesh, it's vegetarianism. So the so-called vegetarians have no qualms about having non-veg partners. Even in nature, the herbivores and carnivores don't mate. Horses don't mate with lions, elephants don't mate with cats, and so forth. But Homo sapiens seemingly can override all natural law and discomfort/awkwardness of nonsensical situations. They also freely go to discotheques, raves, trance parties, festivals, in the blessed comfort of knowing that they are vegetarians and thus against slaughterhouses and animal cruelty and so forth. The simple fact that the techno music they are enjoying is no different from slaughterhouse machine sounds doesn't cross their mind. Also, most of the vocal music they hear is nothing but the agonized cries of dying animals channeled through Homo sapien mouths. There is no realization that vegetarianism is a whole way of life, not just a food choice. The whole gambit of meat, alcohol, Borgness, corpiness, non-veg company, non-veg sounds has to be given up together before one truly becomes a vegetarian. The incomplete, compartmentalized form of vegetarianism is neither lasting nor does it bring all the benefits associated with vegetarianism. Veg food plus non-veg life equals speedy disintegration.
Oh, yeah. Végétarianisme. Il y a un consensus général sur toute la planète que de ne pas manger de la viande animale est le végétarianisme. Les soi-disant végétariens n'ont aucun scrupule à avoir un partenaire non végétarien. Même dans la nature, les herbivores et les carnivores ne s'accouplent pas. Les chevaux ne s'accouplent pas avec les lions. Les éléphants ne s'accouplent pas avec les chats et ainsi de suite. Mais les homo sapiens peuvent apparemment passer outre toute loi naturelle. Et inconfort, malaise résultant de situations dépourvues de sens. Ils vont tous en discothèque, rave, trance party, festival, dans le confort béni qu'est la certitude qu'ils sont végétariens. Et par conséquent, contre les abattoirs et la cruauté animale. Et ainsi de suite. Le simple fait que la musique techno qu'ils apprécient ne soit pas différente d'un abattoir pour les oreilles ne leur traverse pas l'esprit. Presque toute la musique vocale qu'ils entendent n'est rien d'autre que des cris d'animaux mourants communiqués par des bouches d'homo sapiens. Il n'y a pas de réalisation du fait que le végétarianisme est un mode de vie complet. Pas juste un choix de nourriture. Toutes les manœuvres autour de la viande, de l'alcool, du robotisme, des corps, de la compagnie non végétarienne, des sons non végétariens doivent être abandonnés tous ensemble avant que l'on puisse vraiment devenir une végétarienne. Le fait que le végétarianisme ne soit pas approché de manière complète ne peut pas être durable ni apporter les bénéfices associés avec le végétarianisme. Nourriture veg, plus vie non veg, égale désintégration rapide. Like you're gonna disintegrate fast.
Right.
It's really what it is. It's look, a lot of people say, like he said, they're vegetarian, but then they indulge in all the other nonsense, which is alcohol and all the toxic stuff that they can't hear. And because I find also it will not last your vegetarianism episode if you don't apply it fully in your life. Like it's gotta be a full thing. Give up all the non-veg stuff, non-veg company, all the because everything is based pretty much on a barbarian demonic society. Like it's very barbarian. We kill and slaughter and all these cries of animal, all this curse that you process when you eat those dead animals. It's gotta go somewhere. So it's gotta come out, the curse. So it's gonna come out through the mouths of Homo sapiens and regurgitating verbal diarrhea in their song. That's really what it is. Sometimes I can't even make sense of what they say. It's verbal diarrhea. Complete nonsense. So all this has to be given up. If you want to call yourself a vegetarian, a real one. Like, to me, a vegetarian is also a humanitarian. Is like, maybe the word vegetarian should be avoided or changed and really call our people of the earth that cares and stuff and understand all these principles. Maybe humanitarian. I don't know. It would rob people maybe a bit less than vegetarian, because often vegetarian, that's the thing, is people become vegetarian, but they're not vegetarian. That's it. Or they will become vegetarian and indulge in all the processed stuff made by, let's say, here in Canada, we have Eve Veggie. They put all kinds of product out like baloney and stuff like this on the shelf that is vegan. But why do you even eat baloney? Why you fancy hot dog? Why do you want hamburger? Why do you try to recreate all this? That's the thing too, that they do. Often they will not have a proper vegetarian diet. They will just like indulge in that nonsense processed food that is often offered to us in supermarket. To me, real vegetarian, it's from the earth. It's like I see what PT eats sometimes, and like honestly, it looks good. It looks good, looks healthy, it looks good and flavorful, and you're gonna create amazing dish, definitely. But also it takes effort to cook for yourself. That's the thing also.
It does.
Becoming vegetarian, going that way, you can be lazy. You can be lazy sitting on your ass thinking that the food will come to you, because now it's called work. And that's divine work also in progress. Once you feed your body properly, the proper nutrients and food and stuff that makes sense, that is alive, you will feel alive. If you feel dead because you eat too much dead stuff, candies and shit, and even people vegetarian, they will indulge in all kinds of candies and like, what is this? Like, that's not supportive of a body. Can tell me that jelly beans are good for you. Give me a break. I see people often eat all that kind of stuff. Even anyway, I don't want to judge them for what they do. It's their choice, but certainly not mine. I don't feed myself freaking jelly beans and shit. So that's why maybe I'm very freaking like sharp. Sometimes I find myself, I don't know if people find me sharp or like sharp-minded. Like I'm very present and there and inspired, because I'm a freaking electric, bro. Freaking electric. So that has to go somewhere. So I channel it through the YouTube channel and other places. That's it. So Frank, what can you tell us about that vegetarianism? What's your opinion and views on that?
I mean, it's such this is a great P-log, and P really clarifies a lot of, so it's not just the diet. You know, the diet is a good place to begin. And like you said, it's and it was, for me, it was one of the first things that I did after coming across P and hearing him talk about vegetarianism and its importance. I had already started having an interest in the Vedic thing with Vedic astrology and Ayurveda and things like that. But that was one of the first things I was like, I've never tried it before. And I was like, I like vegetarian food. So maybe I'll just give it a try. I'll just be open to it, you know? And so I was like, I'm going to try, I'm going to see how it goes, you know? And I feel very fortunate that when I made that decision, I was also learning about how to cook proper kind of Ayurvedic cuisine. So And Pete talks about it too in one of these earlier P-logs about the how the real stairway to heaven, bliss and enlightenment. He says, right diet recommended: veggies, lentils, grains, nuts, roots, herbs, spices. So when I was learning how to cook for myself, I was learning how to make khichdi or dal soups. I learned how to make roti and different types of, because really the Indian cuisine or Ayurvedic cuisine, really, they have it figured out, to where we don't have to have all these. And you can see like people who have either a Western or American diet, they still want all of their kind of what they would call comfort foods, like a hamburger or a hot dog or whatever, But and there are even more like Indian or Vedic ways to kind of like make those kind of dishes, but at the same time, they're not putting in all of these stabilizers and all these things that are making it, just very much more processed than it needs to be.
Emulsifiers and all that nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah, right. So, we're trying to have foods that are fresh and foods that's how you get like your actual real energy, your prana, your chi. Because if you're eating things that have been on the shelf for like so long, then you're going to feel stale. Your energy is going to feel stale, and like eating the meat, like all that type of what they call tamasic energy, or kind of energy that eventually kind of like spirals you down. That's going to be what you're relying on for your main source of energy, and it's going to have a lot of different effects. Not only on your like energetic level, but mentally, psychologically. Like it starts like kind of clogging you up, and that's another one of the tactics of like, okay, the ones who are in charge are like, how are we going to feed these people so that they can stay asleep, so that they can stay in this lower vibration? And so they feed the people a bunch of trash and a bunch of dead things and a bunch of chemicals or genetically modified things that keeps our energy and our willingness and our ability to actually break out. They just try to squash it as much as they can. But all the other things that Pete talks about here too, I mean, it's not just what we eat, even the clothes that we wear. Like I found so many, your shoes, your belt, your wallet, it's all like made of leather oftentimes, so you start seeking other things. You're like, oh, I want something that's made out of canvas or like hemp or bamboo or something like that for my belt, my shoes, my wallet, whatever it is. There's so many different levels that we can actually make vegetarianism a way of life. And it is it's work that we have to do. And at the same time, too, we are going to have to interact and deal with people like either as co-workers or family members or something like that they're not going to make that choice. But to the best of our ability, we try to make decisions for our own self in which we can promote nonviolence and really also like it affects our consciousness. And that's one of the main reasons why you would choose not to eat meat. You're trying to have a balanced consciousness. You're trying to have a positive energy. And I even heard someone talking about it like this too. They were like, like trying to awaken yourself while eating a meat diet is like tying, cement blocks on your feet and trying to swim to the surface. It's just you're going to keep sinking and keep going down because it's really heavy. Blood, you can't have a blood-based diet. And P has talked about it with some other people, Santos Bonacci, that conversation. I don't know if you've seen, but Santos Bonacci and PT had a conversation. It was really great. They talk about a lot of that stuff. And Santos he's really a big proponent of a vegetarian diet too.
Yeah, I've learned a lot with Santos. He's been on the Truman Show a few times. And right? I've learned a lot with Santos. I was very ecstatic to have him on when it was at the beginning of my quest. And he came on the Truman Show and I was completely ecstatic. I'm going to have Santos Bonacci on the Truman Show. That was right. So, large up Santos if he listens.
Right. Exactly.
Great man, of course. So, Frank, maybe we finish with evolve today. Yeah, free. No, what is it? Free to free.
Yeah, evolve love.
Oh no, evolve love.
Evolve.
That's it. Evolve love.
Evolve love. Evolve. The word love keeps on getting used on this planet 1 trillion times a day without a clue as to what it is. An extensive air of mystery has been created around a simple concept. To love someone means that you want the best for them, and the best that can happen to anyone is that they evolve from their current state. To want evolution of anyone is loving them. To want evolution of everyone is loving everyone. The real spelling of evolve, love, reveals its absolute connection to love.
Yeah. So, en français, ça va être evolve, love, évoluer, amour. Le mot amour. Je t'aime, mon amour. N'arrête pas d'être utilisé 1000 milliards de fois par jour sans une idée de ce qu'il signifie. Un air excessif de mystère a été créé autour d'un concept simple. Aimer quelqu'un signifie que vous voulez le meilleur pour cette personne et le meilleur qui peut arriver à n'importe qui, c'est d'évoluer de leur état actuel. Ça, c'est important, là, ce qu'il dit là. Vous voulez aimer quelqu'un. OK? Aimer quelqu'un. Tous ceux qui parlent français, écoutez, là. Aimer quelqu'un signifie que vous voulez le meilleur pour cette personne. Et le meilleur qui peut arriver à n'importe qui, c'est d'évoluer de leur état actuel. Ça comprend vos enfants. Vouloir l'évolution d'une personne, c'est aimer cette personne. Vouloir l'évolution de tout le monde, c'est aimer tout le monde. I love everyone. Yes, of course, I love everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is beautiful. Yeah. Comme le suggère l'anglais à travers le mot evolve, évoluer en français, la vraie épellation de evolve love, évoluer, aimer, révèle sa connexion absolue à l'amour. Et yeah, what I was saying is very, very of utmost important when he says here, to love someone means that you want the best for them, and the best that can happen to anyone is that they evolve from their current state. So don't tell me you love me or anything like that, or like often I even discuss this topic with Kim. Kim is my wife. I'm married for 20-something years now. I don't remember exactly. I think it's over 20 years, 21 maybe. Anyway, she would be mad hearing me say that now. I'm supposed to know. But yeah. But anyway, but when she says, I love you, I can... Kim had made me feel what love is. She had shown me really what love was, and I can feel it through her because it's genuine, it's honest, and that's when she tells me I love you, I can feel it in the sense of this, because she wants me to evolve. She wants me to get better. Look, I wouldn't be the man I am today without Kim. Definitely. So she has helped me evolve. So, but don't come to me and tell me you love me if you don't want my evolution, if you want me to devolve, like my mother, example, like she doesn't want me to evolve, she repress everything I have to say. She doesn't want to hear it. So why do you say you love me if you don't want my good, if you don't want me to evolve here on earth? That's why I said, also, be careful what you do with your children, because do you want them to evolve or not? Like, are you raising your kid or you're educating your children in this world with the reality of this world? So you might be very much just raising your kids, cutting the grass under their feet, and boom, they're lost at sea, freaking muggles in the world, like any other robot you see out there. So make sure they hear your voice. I made sure my children heard my voice, and they know my voice. Trust me, they know my voice. And not because I have a very potent voice, but because of the reason, the reasoning behind everything I tell them and stuff. And yeah, they know that I'm present. I'm present. I'm here, and I want their evolution. That's why when I tell my children, I love you, Gavin. I love you, Abby, Sam. It's because I want their evolution. I want them to evolve, and I think that's also love, because often we have this concept that love is only for also higher divine, the trees, the animals. You have no problem saying you love your dog and you hug her and him or whatever, big kiss. I do it all the time with my dog. I'm so over her, sometimes she must get fed up. But anyway, but I want the best for her. I want even my dog to evolve, so I train her properly so she has good manners and stuff, and she respect people. And I want even my dog to evolve. So you want animals to evolve, humans to evolve. We should all be evolving, and that's why probably I love everyone. I want the good for everyone. I want, and especially my children, I want them to do better than I did. So I coach them so much, especially Gavin, my youngest, because he's in the time where I'm the most awake, most present, most aware. Time is him benefiting, because my other two children, I wasn't like really. I was always had this fiber inside, but I've been put to sleep by Babylon for a while with fake responsibilities, and that's what happened. They put you asleep. They put you asleep, and you think that's the only thing you have to do is work in Babylon, make money, pay your bills, and that's the only work you do. And I'm gonna give you another example. Take my father-in-law, for example. He's retired, but he's going back to work now because he's bored. 74-year-old. Like, he just had a heart attack too. So now he's putting himself maybe in, why don't you relax? Why don't you? But that's what it is. And I'm not judging him. It's the case for many. They get to their retirement. They have all the time in the world in front of them, and they don't know what to do still.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the case of many, Yeah. Not just my father. And in the case of many, they get to retirement and they get so bored. And that should be the moment where you put focus on your ascension, evolution, and stuff. You have time in front of you. Focus on evolving. Leave the TV. Go outside. Take walks. Go sit in the park. Reflect. Connect with people. Get out of the TV realm. There's other stuff out there than just
there's so much.
Sitting in your house, and go connect with people. There's all kinds of beautiful people out there, and the world is not as harsh as it seems. It's just what they portray on TV is what you have in your head. But the world is a beautiful place. It's beautiful people, and you can't think all negative about this world. It's not a way to live. So, exactly. So we want to evolve, but to evolve, exactly, it takes love. You cannot do it without love. So, and love will find you. Love will find you. You don't have to worry. Just do the work. Do the work. The words will find you. I'm never worried about what I do here. I know I'm divinely inspired, and I will find the word, or they will come to me. Everything you need will come to you. The words, the courage, everything you need will come to you. Why are you so afraid to evolve? Like, to evolve, you don't have to be scared. It's going to be a better place for you. Like, I don't know how to put it, but, and it's not because I have reached total ascension here. I'm not there at all, but I'm working on it, and I know I have to work on it, and I'm willing to do it. So I'm evolving. Each and every day. Each talk I do with you, I'm evolving because I'm developing my thoughts. I'm thinking for myself. We exchange together. These moments are divine to me. I love doing this with you, Frank. I really love it because I love you also. I can say I love you, Frank, because I want the best for you and I want you to evolve. And I told you in the past, I love you, Frank.
Yes,
and I do because I want you to evolve, and you are evolving. So to me, it's
Yes.
Declaration of love, Frank.
Yes. Love you too, Yannick. Yeah, definitely want. I mean, love for all, right? I mean, just like P makes this connection, it's so amazing. Of this definition. I mean, this needs to go on a T-shirt. I might be wearing one day. To love someone means that you want the best for them, and the best that can happen to anyone is that they evolve from their current state. I mean, that is just gold. It's pure gold, right? Because as we've been kind of conditioned to think, and as you see in so many so-called relationships with people, love for them it can be expecting them to act the way that you want them to. And like P has said over and over again, this is a multiversal law that he has, let everyone know, no being can control another being. And that will never be the case. So don't act like it's true, because it's not. And you're always going to fail every time that you act in a way that you think that's the truth. You're going to find yourself wrong and then probably upset because you acted out of in a way that's never going to work that way, So we have to, and this is a very, in a way, there's a fine line where we have to, let people be themselves and come to their own place of like making their own choices. But also, and this is why P talks about how working on our own selves and working on our own evolution, it's a very positive impact on anyone who's around us, because if they actually get some curiosity to want to start to step out of the box for themselves, they can see, oh, well, this is how this person is made some choices for themselves. It seems to be going pretty good for them, and so, yeah, I was just making that connection, how he says, an extensive air of mystery has been created around the simple concept. Because when you can connect love with evolution, that can connect it in a really practical way. Because if you want to actually care for your own well-being, I mean, you're gonna have to eat right, and you're gonna have to work on saying the right things, not only to others, but to yourself, and even speaking in nature, and having that developing that repertoire of saying the right things and developing that respect. These are all things that are going to awaken us to the conscious beauty of what's divine, what's real, and we can all just picture how beautiful it would be as more and more people start to want to do this for themselves. Then the whole wave starts getting really. Everything in life can start getting so much more beautiful. And just like we were talking about the whole vegetarianism a few P-logs ago, or last P-log, I mean, so much of the misery and the pain that we see in this world is because of, all of these, how many, right, billions of animals are killed every single day. So that's going to have an effect on the energy of this place, and there's that saying that's like, you want to stop wars, then the wars. That's one that I can't remember who it was that said it, but it connected the idea that wars will continue as long as there are slaughterhouses, right? That Russian person said that thing. So, and so this whole concept. And I love also how he puts the linguistic aspect of it. Evol, love. It's the reverse, the flip, the mirror, in English at least, how the English thing works. So,
and even apparently the cows and the animals that get slaughtered, they cry also before.
I saw a video, with that, all the tears. Yeah,
is that true? Like, I've never seen an animal cry, but is someone maybe put it in a comment or something? Can animals cry? I'm gonna talk to PT about that. Like, now it brings a whole new perspective on animals if they cry. Come on, like, you can be insensitive to a child that cries. So now you even have the cow that cries before they get slaughtered.
Yeah,
You're really desensitized. we're really desensitized to everything that has to do with nature, and that's why it's unnatural to kill. To kill anything is very unnatural. So that's why also the I think maybe that's, I don't know what should be the punishment for someone that kills, but there's people that can't even kill flies. So, and others that kills human repeatedly, series killer and stuff. So I really wonder. I think it's has to do with the level of maybe coherency you have inside, or
and there's a lot of mystery around like the way that things work with people's consciousness and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of things will come back to us from even other lives and stuff, which for some, that's a little bit too far of a stretch to go for, but that is kind of how the Vedic thing looks at it. And so it's something to consider, and also to know that fully we won't ever really know. But actually, if we want to get closer to knowing, we must work on our evolution. We won't ever really know what the Earth looks like, really. But actually, if we want to get higher, then we have to work on raising our consciousness, and actually, that's like what P said, you actually, if you want to know what it's like, if you want to know actually how the mechanisms between like creational science, you actually have to go to higher realms to get to a more understanding of that. So.
And a child born in nature without TV in Babylon and all the nonsense that we are fed in this world will be naturally curious to know where he is. Like, come on, you stand on something. Where am I? Where am I here? Like, what's this earth? What's this place I'm in? So, no matter what, you see questions. So maybe that quest is answered only if you can ascend to higher realms. Would make sense because you cannot see it from here. You will never know what the shape of the earth is. If you pretend to know, you're a liar. Because you will never know. You will never know until you ascend. And if you can ascend, I don't know now if you can come down and give back the information in some form. I don't know. But I know that if you want to see it, maybe from your own eyes, or maybe you don't have eyes up there, maybe it's just a feeling, maybe it's just something or maybe you have eyes when you I don't know. Look, it's too far-fetched for me. I'm living still, and I have what I see of the earth is what I see of the earth, but definitely I cannot see the whole earth and his entire thing. So I must work on creating some kind of ascension if I hope to put my soul on fire one day and ascend to higher realms to see what the earth is, where I was. Maybe that's the quest. Maybe we're here for that, the quest, because that's an existential question for everyone that has a mind of its own, is where are we? Who are we? What are we doing here?
Right.
I'm not talking what they tell you on TV, of course. But if you clear your mind of all the nonsense, you will have those existential questions. And you will try to seek answers. But I think there's one answer you will never get, and it's where you are. And to know that, you won't know from your living days. You will know if you create that ascension. That I kind of feel that stuff. I'm not sure about it because it's just something we guess. We don't have like the death is such a mysterious thing. Just death. Look, everything is mysterious on earth for me. Imagine death, how mysterious that is. Like,
right?
Crazy. But when you start thinking about all the mysteries and the death, but anyway, Frank, large up for this session again. Very interesting. Developing on the PT's book with you.
Yes,
and it's
likewise.
It sparks always a lot of stuff for us to be on fire and deliver properly to the best of our ability. I always try to do that here. You too, I know it. You can sense that stuff. We're genuine, trying to stay very focused on the talk we're having, and that's what we do. So we will probably be here again next Moon Day.
Yes, that works.
You will be back in the US next week, yeah?
We'll be back in North Carolina. Yep, back in the U.S. So
Perfect.
we'll fly back and we'll look at the flat Earth, you know, from the airplane.
Yeah, trying to see a curve that doesn't exist. But that's the funny thing when you're in an airplane and you see people looking on. They don't even realize that there's no curve. Like, it doesn't cross our mind. Even me, when I took the airplane, I'm like, I look and it's like we're in trance. We're not there. We're in trance. We don't we don't question. We don't. So that evolution will make you question things and observe and question and forget everything they told you and just observe. Boom, we're out. Frank, pleasure once again.
Big
Much love.
Yeah.
And we will be back next Moon Day.
Locked up.
See ya. Boom, we're out.
Boom.